All right, this is part 2 of our developmental assets ingredients understanding. So I hope you were able to print out a copy of the age-appropriate list of assets for your children. And I want to show you basically how to use that to identify where you or your family and your child land in terms of probability of success and high-risk behavior. So let's assume you've got this, and what do you do with it then? You've kind of gone through these. Pretty simple. We look at this list and we say, all right, well, how many of these do my children have? And simplest way to do that is just to go through the list and check off the ones that are true, that firmly describe the situation of your family. And then you add those up. Add up the external assets, add up the internal assets. That total number is the number that we'll use for the probabilities of success and high-risk behavior. So that total of 40 developmental assets, now I want to introduce this idea of what's our responsibility, our ability to respond to these assets in our children's lives. Because it's very clear that our children don't have control over all of them, very clearly. Actually, there's very few that they have control over, depending on their age. But our family, too, doesn't have control over all of them, nor does our school, nor does our community. We each have a set of responsibilities, if you will, to nurturing these developmental assets. I've also classified them by heart, mind, body, soul, because that describes the whole person. What we want in our children's lives is a balanced life of assets that are heart, mind, body, soul related. So this picture, this graphic will just kind of illustrate these are the internal assets as they relate to those different classifications, those different responsibilities in life. Those are the ingredients that come from within. And then the next set of ingredients are those external assets, heart, mind, body, and soul. And that describes, again, the responsibility of each of the groups of people that have influence on those assets. So that's an interesting way to look at this and a way for us to discuss it, because I think it's important to kind of look at these in light of self, family, school, and community. And it takes the onus off of any one of us, and it also encourages the synergistic relationship or that community relationship as it involves us as a community growing great kids. Just a note, the average number of assets in the United States for kids is 20.6. It's higher in the earlier years, lower in the later years of teenage life, but it's only about half, a little more than half of the number of assets is the average for our children. So if you realize, wow, we don't have a lot of assets, well, that's kind of the norm. And the reason to bring this to our attention is how can we improve that? How can we increase them? So interesting note to take there. So again, finally looking at those probabilities of high-risk behavior and success behavior, take that number, take a look at the probabilities. And remember, they're probabilities. We are resilient human beings, and we can always beat probabilities, one way or the other, as a matter of fact. But probability is a helpful thing to understand, and if I can increase my child's probability, hallelujah, then I can have greater chance of success. All right, so there again is just another look at the assets, and next, and I will be going into them individually and how we can build those into our lives. Take care.